Okay, so here is our unstretched data of the Heart Nebula in Photoshop CS5. Let's make a curves transformation on this data. First point will be very steep to start to make the data appear. Second point will bring the curve down, and a third point make sure the data stays flat to the top, and then say OK. Once I've done the first stretch, the second stretch, third and fourth stretches will be done with the eyedropper tool. So I'll go curves. Now I will do a command click or control click in Windows, select an area of nebulosity that I want to target. That puts a point into the histogram, and now I'll use the arrow keys on the keyboard to bring up the nebulosity. And I will put a couple of points into this curve just to control the data at the top there, to make sure just one point, it goes flat straight to the top. So now we're ready to do a third stretch. We're not there yet. So curves again, and again command or control click with the eyedropper tool brings that dot, tells you exactly where the data is in the histogram, and now start stretching precisely with the keyboard. And this time the stretch will get less and less as the data is revealed. But you'll also notice a gap appearing there on the left side between the data, the histogram where the data is, and where this tool is stretching from. So we're going to use the levels to fix this now, because the black point has become too high. You need to be very careful when adjusting the black point, so be very careful with levels. We're only going to take the black point and we're going to move it up to the data. And there you can see we're getting a much better image already, but don't overdo this. The worst sin in astrophotography is clipping of the black point. Let's do another curves. This will be a much milder stretch now. Again, command click or control click with the eyedropper tool to get the point into the histogram, and again stretch away with the keyboard keys until you're happy, and it's all subjective, until you're happy with how the image looks, and I'm happy with that. Okay, now I'm going to go back and again check the black point with levels, and you can see it's moved away, so we're just going to bring it up again, but don't clip the data. That means do not go into the data itself just before the data is good enough. And that's already looking very nice. Now let's make a duplicate layer, so drag it down to the bottom there to create a duplicate. Now on this layer we're going to use filter, other filters, high pass. This is a way to sharpen your image by targeting a specific pixel scale. You can see what I mean here is I've slide this slider up, and the pixels increase, and more the image is selected for sharpening. Now I will probably settle with this around about 22 pixels. Well, that's the image detail I want to sharpen, to enhance, to bring up in my image. Then I'll say, once I'm happy with that, then I'll say OK, click. Now you need to blend this into your original data because it doesn't make a very nice image now. So here I'm deliberately selecting the wrong blending mode screen, and it lightens everything, and well, it improves nothing. So go back and select overlay. Now that's a much better image, but the effect is too hard for me. So what we're going to do next is we're going to use Photoshop to blend this effect into the final image. So select the opacity slider and slide that slider down until you're happy. I normally settle around 25 to 35%. That's a good setting for me for most images. Okay, now let's make a third copy. Let's turn off our top copy, the view of it. And now again we're going to go filters, others, high pass filter. This time we're going to look at the lower pixel scale of about 5 pixels to enhance the fine details in the Heart Nebula. And again we're going to select the overlay mode, and we're going to adjust the opacity to soften the effect on the image. Essentially we don't want our images to look over processed. That's not the goal. We want them to look natural and to look the best they can. Now we'll turn on both layers, and you'll see the improvement that's made to the image. I believe that's a big improvement and gives it more of a 3D look and feel. So we zoom in, and we can turn on and off the top large image scale layer the 22 pixels, and there you can see how it affects both the light areas of the nebulosity and the dark areas of the nebulosity to give a better image. Now before we leave, let's save this for our posting on our website, on our forum. So for that I use the web save tool. So open, save for web and devices. Of course it's always bigger than it can handle, but trust me, just say yes, it can handle it. I always normally set my quality at 80%. Here now I'll bring the pixel size down to 15,000 pixels. Sorry, 1500 pixels, and this normally creates an image of around just under half a meg, and then save that as a JPEG. And that's good enough quality for posting. And this is my first Photoshop tutorial, so I hope you like it.